Okay. So the post is titled, and I'll read all the way through. I might interject and start going off on a tangent, but whatever. I'll read all the way through, and then we'll open it up. Everybody speak freely, as usual. So it says, from loser to legend, reprogram your mind. It says, your mind is a battlefield, and most of you are losing the war without even realizing it. You're walking around with this pathetic image of yourself burned into your brain, carrying it like some badge of honor. Oh, poor me. Life is hard. I can't succeed. I'm not good enough. Cut the bullshit. Your dreams aren't just random thoughts floating around in your head. They're blueprints for your future, but only you have the balls to believe in them, or only if you have the balls to believe in. Let me tell you something that might hurt your feelings. Everything you are right now, everything you've achieved or failed to achieve, started with a thought. That's right. That piece of shit job you hate, you thought yourself into it. That mediocre relationship you're settling for, you manifested that too. That body you're ashamed of, yep, that's all you too. Your thoughts shaped every single aspect of your reality, whether you want to admit it or not. You see, most guys are walking around with their heads filled with garbage. They're carrying around this mental picture of themselves as some worthless, defeated loser who can't catch a break. And guess what? Life is giving them exactly what they're asking for. It's like walking into a restaurant and ordering a shit sandwich, then complaining about the taste. What the fuck did you expect? But here's where it gets interesting. Your self-image isn't set in stone. It's not some permanent tattoo you're stuck with for life. It's more like a piece of software running in your brain. And just like any software, it can be upgraded. The problem is most men are running an outdated programming from their childhood, their failed relationships, their setbacks, and their disappointments. They're letting their past dictate their future. And that's about the dumbest thing you can do. Think about it this way. Every morning when you wake up, you're either feeding your dreams or feeding your fears. There's no middle ground. When you look in the mirror, what do you see? Do you see your potential? Do you see your greatness? Or do you see all your past failures, all your insecurities, all the times life kicked you in the teeth? Because whatever you're focusing on is exactly what you're going to get more of. I've seen it happen countless times. Some guy gets a few setbacks, takes a few hits, and suddenly he's walking around with his shoulders slumped, head down, defeated before he even starts. He's carrying this mental picture of himself as a loser. And guess what? The world responds accordingly. People can smell that shit. They can sense when someone is giving up on themselves. It's like wearing a sign that says, don't expect much from me. I'm just here to exist. But let me tell you about the flip side. I've also seen guys who had every reason to fail, every excuse to give up, but they refused to carry that defeated mindset. They understood something crucial. Your dreams aren't just random wishes. They're seeds of your future reality. They're like blueprints your mind creates, showing you what's possible. But here's the kicker. You have to believe in them first. You want to know why most people's dreams never become reality? It's not because they're not capable. It's not because they're not talented enough or smart enough or whatever other bullshit excuse they've convinced themselves of. It's because they're walking around with this shitty self-image that's completely incompatible with their dreams. Think about that for a second. How the fuck are you going to build a successful business if you see yourself as someone who always fails? How are you going to find an amazing relationship if you think you're unworthy of love? How are you going to build your dream body if you're convinced yourself you're destined to be out of shape? It's like trying to run high-performance software on a computer from the 90s. It just ain't going to work. This is why self-image is the most important thing you need to work on. More important than your skills, more important than your knowledge, more important than anything else. Because if your self-image is shit, nothing else matters. You could have all the talent in the world, all the opportunities, the connections, and you'd find a way to fuck it up because deep down, you don't believe you deserve the success. And here's something that might blow your mind. Your current self-image was created by you. That's right. Every single thought you've ever had about yourself, every interpretation of every experience, every conclusion you've drawn about who you are, you created all that. And if you created it, you can uncreate it. You can rebuild from the ground up. But it takes work, real fucking work. Not this superficial positive thinking bullshit where you stand in front of a mirror repeating affirmations while your subconscious mind is calling bullshit on every word. No, this is about fundamentally changing how you see yourself. And it starts with being brutally honest about the image you're carrying around right now. You become what you think about most of the time. That's not some new age hippie bullshit. It's a fundamental truth about how your brain works. Your dominant thoughts shape your actions. Your actions shape your habits. And your habits shape your character. And your character shapes your destiny. It's a chain reaction that starts in your mind. Look at any successful person. I mean, truly successful. Not these fake social media entrepreneurs flexing rented cars. Look at how they carry themselves. Look at how they think about themselves. They're not hoping for success. They're not wishing for it. They expect it. Why? Because their self-image is aligned with success. They see themselves as winners, as achievers, as people who make shit happen. But here's where most guys fuck up. They try to change their outer world without first changing their inner world. They want the success, the money, the relationships, the respect, but they're still carrying around this image of themselves as someone who doesn't deserve those things. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. No matter how much you pour in, it's going to leak out. Your dreams are trying to tell you something. They're showing you what's possible for your life. But if you're carrying around this picture of yourself as someone who's worthless, defeated, or not good enough, you're going to sabotage those dreams before they ever have a chance to take root. You're essentially killing the seedling before it can grow into something beautiful. The good news is you can change this. You can rebuild your self-image from the ground up, but you have to be willing to do the work. You have to be willing to challenge every negative thought, every limiting belief, every piece of mental garbage you've been carrying around. You have to be willing to see yourself in a new light, even when everything and everyone around you is trying to keep you in your old pattern. Start with your thoughts. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself. Would you talk to your best friend the way you talk to yourself? Would you constantly remind them of their failures, their shortcomings, their mistakes? Would you tell them they're not good enough, not smart enough, not worthy enough? Of course not. So why the fuck are you doing it to yourself? Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. When you constantly think about failure, about not being good enough, about all the things that could go wrong, your brain treats those thoughts as reality. It starts preparing you for failure, for disappointment, for settling for less. It's like programming a GPS to take you to the dump and then wondering why you keep ending up in shitty places. But here's the thing about dreams. They're persistent little fuckers. They keep showing up, keep whispering to you about what's possible, keep giving you glimpses of what could be. Why? Because deep down in the core of your being, you know what you're capable of. You know that you're meant for more. Those dreams aren't random. They're your potential trying to break through all the mental bullshit you accumulated over the years. The question is, are you ready to start taking those dreams seriously? Are you ready to start seeing yourself as someone worthy of success, of happiness, of greatness? Are you ready to stop carrying around that picture of yourself as a worthless, defeated person and start creating a new image, an image of someone who makes shit happen, who achieves their goals, who lives life on their own terms? Because here's the brutal truth. No one is going to do shit for you. No one is coming along and magically fixing your self-image. No one is going to believe in you more than you believe in yourself. This is your fight, your journey, your transformation. Your dreams are the seedlings of your future reality, but only if you're willing to nurture them with the right mindset, the right self-image, the right beliefs about who you are and what you're capable of. Stop killing those seedlings with your negative self-talk, your limiting beliefs, your shitty self-image. Start seeing yourself as someone worthy of those dreams, someone capable of achieving them, someone who deserves success. Because at the end of the day, you become what you think about most. If you're constantly thinking about failure, about not being good enough, about all the reasons why you can't succeed, guess what? That's exactly what you're going to get. But if you start thinking about success, about growth, about achievement, you're becoming the best version of yourself. If you start carrying around that image instead, your whole world will start to change. Remember this, your self-image is not your destiny unless you choose to make it so. Those dreams you have, they're not random. They're not accidents. They're glimpses of what's possible for your life. But first, you have to believe you're worthy of them. You have to see yourself as someone capable of achieving them. You have to stop being your own worst enemy and start being your own biggest supporter. The choice is yours. You can keep carrying around that picture of yourself as a worthless, defeated person, or you can choose to see yourself differently. And the key word is choosing. It's a choice. And that wraps up this post for tonight that we're going to discuss. I'm going to read out the 3 questions we have below. And if it resonates with somebody, feel free to jump in. The first question is, if you had a camera following you around all day recording your thoughts about yourself, would you be embarrassed to let other people watch that footage? What does that tell you about how you're treating yourself? And number 2 is, take a look at your life right now, your job, your relationship, your body, your bank account. Is this what you pictured for yourself 5 years ago? And if not, what fucking mental image were you carrying around that created this reality? And the final one is, if your current self-image was a person sitting across from you at a bar, running their mouth about who you are and what you're capable of, would you knock their teeth in for talking shit about you? Then why the fuck do you let that voice live rent-free in your head? And with that, I open the floor to you guys.